Hi everyone, Lord Chris here, and welcome to my channel. And what we're gonna discuss today is the upcoming balance and changes in Gods Unchained, especially that since yesterday they released a PTR update where there might be some divine orders and core cards that will be nerfed or buff, and we're gonna tackle all those cards. And without further ado, let's proceed. So based on here, like the PTR update yesterday and still got happening now, and they mentioned like there will be a buff or nerf on the some of the current divine sorter and core card. And based on my explanation, if you watch my meta update, like as long as there's no changes in or in the cards in the current set of cards, the high chances of the meta deck that we gonna experience during the weekend rank and during the regular ranking will be like the same. But now because there's an upcoming, we don't know if all of this will be intended to be pushed during the next update, and we don't know when will be that next update where they're gonna implement all these changes. But for now, you can like try this one and give comments to the developer so you can like see if this is like a good or bad nerf that it will like bring balance in the game. So as you can see here, the number one on the item is Flourish. So Flourish, we all know buff 2 weeks ago. Now they're gonna nerf it that one. So instead of like giving +1 and regen, it will just be like a regular heal, like heal one of your creatures. And FYI, only creatures. So technically, because this is like one of the famous deck now in nature, like especially in the top 10 weekend event, uh, high chances like this will be may literally impact the nature deck, and it might be, who knows, it might be like no more nature deck, or it will be they completely change it from currently now it's an aggressive nature deck. It might go for a nature control or like a mid range or a big range. So currently the flourish will be, they buff this one into one. Now they gonna change now the Sinina's lead as per the PTR, and they're going to replace it with deals one damage and heal two gods. So by two casting costs, you can randomly deals one damage and gain two health. So this is like a good god power against slayers, those aggressive one, because uh healing your god for two is like countering the slayers god power of the war. So, just like an FYI, previously ago, before the Divine Order God Power, there was like a God Power court under Undying Wish, where it's a three casting cost God Power. It deals two damage randomly to creatures of the opponent, and you gain one life. So they a little bit like nerf that one and become a two casting cost, one damage, two heal. So that was like the latest update. So now, as you can see, there's death god power in current divine order god power. As you can notice, the death, there's no currently a soul burn. So previously on the before the divine order god power, soul burn was like they'll give target creature +2 burn, and both gods will receive do 2 damage. But now they lowered that damage into one and no more burn. So technically it will burn both of the god power. And I think the good advantage of this one, it's like a one casting cost layer, but technically both for us. And FYI, I think this will impact the current zombie deck of the or a zoo deck of death, where you'll utilize like uh, being aggressive and activating the frenzy. Uh, the next one is the Ravenous Chimera. Here, if we go to the card, the quality is 5 casting cost, blessed, twin strike, 5/3. They're going to nerf that one. It became 4/3 now for 5 casting cost, but it will have Blitz and Leech. So they replaced Twin Strike with Bleach and Leech, were technically good for war control. especially if you want to delay and gain more health. And this is like a one of the good card for 5 casting cost. Orcish Elite, uh, this is like a core card where they gonna buff it from 5 casting cost, same, it will become 3/6. So technically, this is a good buff, as currently 2/5, it cannot kill any 3 health minion, but because they put the attack to 3 and health into 6, technically, I can kill 2, 3 minion, and this will still survive, or I can kill both 2, 3, 3 minion, and he will like perish. So this is like literally additional for a war control deck. Because currently the meta for war now are purely aggro using the Slayer. So I think they're trying to bring a concept of, hey, war is not just about aggro. You can like build a control. I think that's the main reason why they're pushing this one. Inexorable Rider. So they changed, they buff this one. Instead of 4 casting costs, it become uh 3, and they changed the stat from 5/2 to 3/2. So change to 3 and become 3/2 here. So Voracious Fiend, another death card, they changed the mana to 2 and decrease, of course, if you lower the casting cost, you should expect lowering the stats also. So technically, it become a tuto. So they're trying to build a zombie, like a zombie zoo deck here. So as you can see, this one Raider is Afterlife summon a zombie, and then this one is also the same summon a zombie. They're trying to build a aggressive zombie death for death. New growth. So they just changed the casting cost into 1. I think this is like a good buff, especially for nature control. Like if you have like the longer the game, you get blessed and also additional card. And FYI, that nature card, it can be random. It can be like a legendary or epic, maybe a 9 cost, or so. It's literally a big. Who knows like what we get on this one, but at least this is like additional card. Falling Star, they literally changed this one, and it seems like this is like a 5 casting cost wildfire, because no changes in casting cost. So technically, it became 5 still casting costs, and because of the new ability, burn 6 to your opponent's strongest, burn 6. So technically, it burns your opponent big creature, and you summon 3/1/2 Badger with Confuse and give, and all creature gain +1. So technically, you summon a 2/2 Badger here, 3 of them, and buff other also, buff all majority of it. So this will, I think what they're planning to do, they kind of bring this a nature aggressive deck, but more on building a board. And I think this is like a good combo for the god power for the Badger. So technically, you can like summon more Badger here, and you can summon more Badger and level up all those Badgers. And you can like accompany it with Wildfire or the Trial of Hydra, where you literally buffing. So like playing small minions here and buffing and fill the board. So Helm Hustler, they changed that to 2 casting cost. They changed the stat into 2/4, and it can still armor. So this is the good thing about this one. Think of it like a bronze gate, but it can attack. But FYI, it only gets a armor if if there's an armor of our opponent, because this is like an ability. See, this creature takes 1 armor from an enemy creature. If there's no armor, it's just like a regular 2/4. uh it's just like a regular 2/4, and that's the thing. Oh no, this is an ability backline. So this is not a roar, guys, it's an ability. So it can, so usually with ability you cannot attack. This is just like stealing, technically stealing armor. You cannot attack. It's backline. Uh, and every time he steal armor, he deals 1 damage. I think this. I think they should like replace this ability into a roar. I think so. I think that's a not that a little bit good. So here the back, this is like they changed it to 1 to cast to 0 4. They only changed the stat and it just deals 2 damage to both guys. So literally more on aggressive zoo zombie deck for that. Anar, they buffed this one. So FYI, there was a sudden increase of prices for Anar because of this upcoming PTR. As you can notice here, the price went up from, I believe, from $16 yesterday. It adds additional like 10 more dollars. So it's like almost like 70% increase. And who knows, uh, the main buff of this guy is become 5 to cast. And instead of at end of your turn, and if you are frenzy, your strongest creature attack. No, it's no longer attack. It's at end of your turn, your strongest creature will deal the 3 damage equal to its strength to the weakest creature. So that's like literally one of the an enemy return deals your strongest creature's stat as damage to your opponent's weakest creature. And FYI, currently does not damage opponent god despite his text. Because he used the word character here because technically any card that mentioned character, it means that I can use this on creature and on god. But here they already put a note that must be like a programming or wording problem. So expect this one will people use because it's 5 mana. You can use this one also on aggressive. This is like usually aggressive war deck. The maximum mana or casting cost that you can see is 4 or 5. So this you can see it. You might see this one on the 5 on the aggressive one, but I think this is may become more popular for war control. So next thing is Takat. So another. This is like one of the death. So nobody using this one because this is an ability. All right. And you can summon. And that's the problem with the ability. Once it comes into play, even weapon, you cannot use it right now. You can have to use it next turn. And that's like a disadvantage. There might be opportunity that this might be destroyed this turn. And that's why in weapon, highly used if it has blitz. And this one or at end of turn, but like at start of turn, like this, like an ability. So as you can see now, the changes, they lower the casting cost to 6, which is good. And the ability is backline at the start of your turn and roar. Pull the strongest creature from your boy to the board. Give it soulless. So when the word say means soulless, means if I put it back, it soulless means if it dies, it will literally obliterate and you will never see as another copy on the void. So something like one time uh, re, uh, resurrection, something like that. So this will be great. And as you can see, if you summon an Anubian, it will give blitz and leech. So literally good for control also. So either like so pull the strongest. That's what they mentioned. If you have like a polyhemia at the void, it will be summoned. If you have like an Anubian with 7, as long as the strongest creature like strength here we're talking about here. So it's a good buff. And as you can see, there was a spike in the prices from $12. It became now 17. So the price is going up and up. So the next one is 14. So the good thing is they buffed this one. The casting cost instead of 6, it became 5. It's a became now a 5/5 structure. It does not mention front line. Yeah, it does not mention front line here, but it's still protected and it's an ability. So the only downcast here, a it's not a structure. So technically I can be attacked directly, but it has protect and ward, and this is an ability. So technically you have to wait next turn to take effect, and that's a good thing. Heal each friendly characters for 2. So I believe this include the gods. That's my perspective. Or it's just like the friendly character means like the creature only. And or give your weakest structure creature 2 strength. Now they make it 5 strength. So technically I have choice. Heal my creature or give one of my weakest a 3. So if you have like a acolyte, like a 2/2, it became 5/5/2. So and can destroy. So this will be a good buff also. Expect this one with the expect this one added in the zoo and also for the light control. Triage of Necromancer. So this one is another one. a legendary. So technically, at the end of if you are frenzy previously, but now uh no, there's no more word frenzy. At end of your turn, summon a random 1/1 mana creature from your void. So if you have lots of zombie, you will keep up summoning one of this type. So the good thing, this is like a five a 5 health, a 5/5/5. So I think this is okay for a 5 casting cost. I think it will get popular. So there's a spike also in the prices, as you can see from it became 3. So it's a good a additional 5/5 creature. Guerrilla Gardener, they buffed this one, guys. Uh, the problem with this guy is still 8 casting cost, but it became 8/8. And the new change is now instead of like backline blitz. So it has blitz. So once you cast it, it can attack and overkill. So that's a good thing. And every time, and it mentioned here, every time it destroys an enemy creature, summon Vibrant. So if you attack, kill one, and then the overkill, kill another one, technically you will have like 2 Vibrant Root. That's like one of my standing. So it's a good, but the only downside, it's 8 casting costs. If it's 7 casting costs, people will gonna use this one, and that's like the problem here that I'm seeing. It's too big casting costs. Hello, this is like just like to generate more guild cards in your hand. I don't see this will be like a meta for deception. I believe the meta for deception either sleep deception or a hidden deception. Yeah, the hollow after a creature lose order, just add, and then ability add to your own creature, either two. So it's it's okay, not no big deal. So this one they already they So this one, the good thing about this is like same casting cost, and I think they nerf buff this one a little bit. So they nerf the when this enter hand and reduces casting. Before it was 2, now it became 1 only. But the good thing the buff is the damage, because previously it's only this damage to enemy creature. So I can select creature to deal damage. Now I can select God, because that's the word. I can deal 3 to God or deals 3 to man every time the order replenish. And the good thing, the casting cost is lower and lower and lower and lower. So the next one is Omnis Barrow. This is 7/7, so they changed it to 3 casting cost, 1/4 backline still, and I think they a little bit tweaked the ability at the at the start at the start of your turn, summon a random 5 mana. It will become now, yeah. So technically, you cast this today, and if survive, it will summon from your deck. So secondly, if you have like a 6/6 moose in your deck, 5 casting cost, it will be replaced. I think this slash is like an okay. Blazing Talisman, what happened is this is like a 4, they reduce it to 3. I think that's it, casting cost. But the problem is this is an ability. So technically, I have to wait next turn for me to activate this one to deals 1 damage to all. So it costs like 4 nature control, but the problem is it can be used next turn. That's the thing. All Seeing Spire, this is a good buff for magic. They just changed the casting cost from 4 to 3. So this is like a good draw power for the draw power for the magic, especially the problem of the big magic now. Once they use all their spell, they might run out of hand. So this is like the good thing is at end of turn you draw a card, so it automatically play. I have one. If it still survive next turn, you take benefits of like drawing more spell cards. So this is like a good buff. Necros Captor, this will be like change. Oh no, they still have. I think they removed at the end of the turn obliterate to random creature. Because if you run out of void creature, you will never able to summon zombie now. I think that's a good buff. And technically, at the end of your turn, summon 1 zombie with leech. If you are frenzy, summon 2. So it's like pumping of lots of zombie for death. And that's a good one. Guild Enforcer, this is a buff. This is just a common. They just reduce the casting cost. That's good. It become 5 casting cost at 3. technically like similar to 3/6. And the good thing about this one, he has two armors. Consider it's a 3/6 and a two armor. This is like a very good, I think, a lot of control deck will gonna use this one, especially magic, deceptions, sleep deception. That's a good buff. So Munyoshan Infiltrator, they just nerf this, buff this one by lowering the casting cost. So it's a good two to cast 2/3, and you can literally lower the health of Pyramid Warden or anything that is 2/6, or if you have a front line like at 0/8, you can like change it to 0/0. It will kill it. So it's a good one, but this is like a like a support card. Curse of I think this is like similar with the zombie. They just make this one a what buff they did this one. Uh, they remove the word so backline can attack at end of your turn if your friend is humanoid zombie. So you only generate if you're you can only generate zombie if you're zombie previously, but now it always summon a zombie and give additional one. So this is good. Similar, this will like be another Necros Captor. So if this one destroyed, cast this one, something like that. So this is like a third and fourth Necros Captor. Shield Bearer, they nerf. Rest in peace, Shield Bearer. We will miss you. Marsh Walker will gonna miss you. Exercise. They just removed the draw capability. I don't know why they have to change the entire. They should like copy the same wording and remove this one. But technically, this is a core card for sleep deception. It removes the draw card ability. Avalanche. This is a good for warrior. Previously, it's only deals 2 damage to creature, and if you remove one durability from it, deals 12. So literally, it this like a big killer for a creature. Now they change it. They changed the word from creature to 2 damage. So this means that it can, I can deals 2 damage to the god, and also because this is a core, if you have weapon instead of 2, it became 4. So deals 4 damage if you have a weapon, deals 4 damage to either creature or god. And think of it like a canopy for war, or like a big spell for war. And uh I think there will be a rise of a frenzy weapon aggro on this one. So this is another a weapon that they buff. So instead of 1/1, nobody's using it because it's just like one time use. But now it's become 1/3, so you can like attack 3 times of this one, and every time you attack creature, uh it plus one strength. So you can like attack creature. On the third attack, you can attack the god, so it will deals 3 damage. So that's the good thing about this one, and you can use the warmonger to increase more the attack here. And the good thing is this is like a 2 casting cost. I think this will replace the enduring shield. Uh, and this will be the new one now required for the aggro. Balkan's captain, it's been nerfed. Instead of plus 2 strength on the weapon, it became now plus 1. I think people will still use this one, guys, especially if you have like avalanche strike. And the next thing they gonna nerf here is the grand hole. So it became now a wall. And it buff one time. It will give leech to other of creatures and give it plus one set. So technically, it's more like think of it like a wildfire, one turn wildfire, but you have like a front line here like a wall. And this is like good for this is good also for aggro. Imagine in fourth turn if you have it give plus one to all, and it will give you leech, so it will like replenish your, and also good for war control here, guys. And the Nasa Balatiri is the rabbit bear. So they buff this one more. Technically, even me, when I use this one, I don't activate the frenzy. I like it with 3/4. Uh just like because it's wild, something like that. Because we all know some players like me I sometimes hate the confused because it's 50% chance of hitting. So now if it's confused, it's not just only plus one attack, it it also give now health. So it became now a 4-5. So you have like literally an option like more attack and more health, but confused or just regular 3-4. So that's it, guys. So currently, I believe there will be the rise of Control Warrior. War Slayer will be still aggressive, the Frenzy aggro, but people will gonna use those Avalanche and Weapon now Relic, even though there's a nerf on Valka's Captain. There will be big changes in nature. We will never expect those Martial Shield Bearer combo because Flourish has already been buffed. We don't know. It will be, I believe, a mid range to a control nature now, and then people might use that Starfall like a Wildfire Stalker combo, just like filling the board. We can see that one as that replacement for the aggro, and we will see a lot of zombie that deck, either like it's like a zoo or like pure literally zombies, and that's it. And light, there's no changes on light. A little bit, there's no little changes on the magic. The only good thing about magic, they have the early access now to the card draw, like those three to cast a 0-2 with order. That's the only, I think that's enough for them because they have a lot of spell cards. So I think good for magic. We might see increase of that one because people currently now magic relying only to palace the equipment to draw card, but now that will be a good buff. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. In if you have like a comment suggestion, kindly leave me a message in the comment area, or to kindly kindly please subscribe and like and follow me for more God's Unchanged content. Thank you so much and have a nice day, guys.